this is a nice town. It's not a sleepy village, as we might think.
No, it's a very nice town. Like I say, we have still a lot of farming and agriculture in the city of Fernley. They're working well with the new people that are coming in. We have a lot of growth, like I said, and it just offers a little of everything for the family or for the retired person.
Oh, that's great. And who is this young lady right here?
Well, this is my daughter, Madison, joining me here today.
Hi, Madison.
Ladies and gentlemen,
may I count your... Here, Madison, come over here. Let's see your face. I'm going to count your freckles.
we'll keep you posted.
Oh, I'll never count your freckles. You got too many. She's a doll.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mayor Seat. Is that your... How do you spell that?
S-T-I-X.
Mayor Seat.
Sticks, yeah.
Sticks.
Yeah, just like pick up sticks.
Okay. I'll call you David.
Thank you. That's great.
And keep watching.
I will.
All right.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
That was the mayor of Fernley, Mayor Sticks. And now let's get back to the Fernley Airfest as we await the arrival of a National Guard, Air National Guard, C-130. It should be arriving here and flying over this field in just a matter of seconds. Everyone's waiting for it. In fact, we can see it just over that hill. And here it comes now.
The Nevada Air Guard based at Reno,
Oh, what a beautiful plane. A C-130 from the Air National Guard here in Nevada. Coming up next, two fighter planes from the Fallon Air Base, an F-18 and an F-14. And here they come now.
He's got his wings tucked back with the F-18C. You're going for our F-18. He is capable of about Mach 1.2 for the F-14 is almost a Mach 2 aircraft.
Next on the program here at Tiger Field in Fernley are smoke jumpers. These smoke jumpers were dropped from an airplane to demonstrate their firefighting abilities. These smoke jumpers are flown all over the United States to fight forest fires in hard-to-get areas. I talked to one of these smoke jumpers right after he landed. And now we have one of the smoke jumpers who just came down here at Tiger Field. Hi, what is your name?
My name is Al Seiler.
And where are you from?
I'm actually from Evansville, Indiana, but we came out here from Boise, Idaho today.
Well, you sure did a nice jump.
Well, thank you very much. It's kind of windy out there, and I kind of got blown off the side, but most of the other guys did real well.
How long have you been doing this?
This is my 18th season.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Where do you usually work?
In Boise, Idaho.
And what do you do after you land on the ground?
We usually gather up our parachute, take this big suit off, and then we all gather up together, get our tools, and then hike to the fire and start firefighting.
When you get to the fire, what do you use to fight the fire with?
We have Pulaskis and shovels, and we have some tools we call Tony tools. They beat out the flames if it's in grass. They're like a flapper. They just flap it out, or we just start cutting a hand line around it down to bare mineral soil so the fire can't spread. And we start at a tail and we just start working up both flanks of the fire. And if it gets too hot, we call in for air resources, retardant and helicopters, so they can get some retardant on the fire.
You ever get any of that retardant on you?
Oh yeah, we get that on us a lot.
Oh, I bet that smells.
Well, it's more slippery than anything else, you know. It doesn't give you good footing. But we're usually happy to see it when we need it. We call for it when we need it, and when we need it, we're happy to see it.
And how long have you been working in Indiana?
Well, I'm from Indiana, but I've been working
that's right.
with the Bureau of Land Management in Boise and Fairbanks, Alaska for the last 20 years.
Plenty of things to work on, huh?
Oh yeah, there's always something to work on.
You're a friend of Smokey the Bear?
Oh yes, I am. He's my hero, always has been.
Oh, good. Nice talking to you, and that was a good landing.
Well, thank you very much. I feel flattered to be talking with you, so thank you very much.
Well, keep fighting those fires.
We'll do our best.
What's your slogan?
They're not out till they're out.
You're not out till they're out.
They're not out till we put them out.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Next on the program, here at Tiger Field in Fernley, a Navy helicopter demonstrates how it performs a daring rescue. And they did just that while the spectators here looked on. Two Navy men dangling over the field, but they're safe. And now we have the eye in the sky. Am I right there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, from the Nevada Highway Patrol.
That's correct.
I see you have your plane right here ready to take off.
I do.
But tell us, I understand you're really going after those people who don't put on their seatbelts.
Yes, we do. Nevada has a secondary violation seatbelt law. So if you're stopped for any other violation and you're not wearing your seatbelt, you'll be getting a ticket.
How about the ticket? How much?
Seatbelt ticket is $50.
$50. Can you write a check?
Sure. As long as it's good.
Well, all kidding aside, do you travel in your plane all the time?
I have about 3 speed enforcement missions a week. And I cover the entire northern half of the state.
Is that right?
Yeah, we do speed enforcement in Reno, Carson City, Winnemucca, Elko, Wells, we even get out to Ely.
And you're up and down Highway 395.
395, Interstate 80, US 93.
80 is really still dangerous, isn't it?
Yes.
Well, they've done a lot to 80 to make it safe.
I was out at Boomtown yesterday. That's a 65 zone. I had 4 ground units, and we started writing tickets at 80 miles an hour. And I kept 4 ground units busy nonstop for 3 hours.
Wow. They're probably going back to San Francisco.
No, they're coming in here for the weekend.
Oh, that's right. It's going to be a big weekend.
Yeah, it sure is.
And your name, sir? I didn't get it.
I'm Pete Honorado.
Well, nice to know you.
Nice to meet you.
Keep up that good work.
Thank you.
And make them fasten those seat belts.
Yes, sir.
All right, sir. Well, that winds it up here at Tiger Field in Fernley. Usually, we look around Reno, but this has been an exception. I'm Jerry Pierce, inviting you to join me when again I look around Reno. Bye for now.
my soul to have you riveted in my heart. But I do not desire to have you always at my elbow. Well, so young William is on his way, and I know that my career as a writer will continue because I am currently at work on a second novel. I wrote one quite a while ago. This one is Mariah, or the Wrongs of Woman. I'm writing a book about the care and nurturing of children. I'm also writing a second part to the Vindication of the Rights of Woman. And I know that I have come under scrutiny. I have been called, as I said, a hyena in petticoats. But I'll say this to you. All the world's a stage. And few are there in it who do not play the part they have learnt by rote. And those few who do not seem marks, set up to be pelted at by fortune, or as signposts, which point the road to others, but who must stand themselves still amidst the mud and dust. Those who know me will know that I have acted from principle. Thank you.
We have time for a few questions. Who would like to begin? Over here, yes. Who do you feel you gained strength from in your family to be as strong a woman and advocate of human rights as you were?
Myself. I feel that my father had a certain trait that I must confess I have acquired, and that is a great deal of moving. As you hear, each time that I ran into some difficulties, I tended to move away, and that I gained from my father. From my mother, I can say nothing. She was perhaps the model for behavior which I did not desire to emulate.
What became of Imlay's daughter?
Imlay's daughter stayed with William Godwin after I died, and she had a rather tragic life. She did not get along well with William's second wife, and when she was about 22 years old, she did indeed commit suicide, and she took an overdose of laudanum. The way they discovered who she was is that she had gone to a small cottage in the country, and she had inherited my corset. And the stays of the corsets had the initials M.W. Godwin did not even claim the body, but she did have a very unhappy life.
Excellent question. You claim to be a gradualist, gradual change to bring about the rights of women. How long did you think it would take?
I gave no specific date for this. I had hoped that within my lifetime that the effects of my books might have taken some power. Unfortunately, that did not occur. As I've learned, there was almost no effect whatsoever in France, where I intended the book to have its greatest impact, nor in England.
Why? Why is that?
I think because, for one thing, my reputation has declined greatly after my death. And the reason for that is that William Godwin, in his grief, wrote a memoir of my life, as well as publishing my unfinished work. And in the memoir, he unfortunately gave all the details of my love affair with Gilbert Imlay, my affair with him, the fact that our child was born well past the accepted time period of our marriage, and that these ideas and my behavior just horrified generations of people. And so the impact then, there was almost a reaction to that kind of revolutionary thinking. And my reputation as the hyena in petticoats caught hold somewhat. And then the failure of the French Revolution, the terror there, the disillusionment about that sort of made all kinds of revolutionary ideas lessen in their impact.
Well, let me ask this as politely as I can. Your life does appear to be a bit of a mess. And I mean seriously, do you believe that you were a victim of your culture, or do you think that you just had a bad set of circumstances?
I would say that probably both of those things are true. I've told you about the circumstances and the milieu under which women were educated, but I have also said that I am a strange compound of weakness and resolution, that there is certainly a great defect in my mind, that my own heart creates its own misery.
Are you willing to project forward, we have a First Lady, the wife of the leader of the United States, who's a very strong and controversial woman. Do you have an opinion of Hillary Clinton?
I understand that Ms. Clinton has written a book entitled It Takes a Village. Is that correct? From what I know of that book, it seems that we are in absolute simplicity in our thoughts, because I have maintained that public affections and public virtues must stem from the practice of individual character, and that it is the duty and responsibility of an entire population, mothers, fathers, church, state, to create good citizens.
Interesting parallel, and your husbands appear to be similar sorts too.
Au contraire. William Godwin was indeed a dutiful and loyal husband.
Would you advocate a literacy-based job for your daughter? A literary career, let us say.
Oh, a literary career. Indeed I would. Indeed I would. I felt that I was the first of a new genus, as I said, a writer, and I felt that a woman was equally capable of expressing her ideas as a man, and indeed I made a fairly decent living as a writer. And so, yes, I would encourage my daughters to do that.
Good question. How many women were you writing to? What portion of society was literate and had access to books such as yours?
Actually, there were quite a few. I addressed my vindication of the rights of women to middle-class women. I did not address the aristocracy. I felt they were a lost cause. And, of course, the lower classes were illiterate. And so there were many women, because they were taught at home, who were taught to read, at least, by their mothers. And then there were the dame schools. And so there were, I'm not certain what the figures might be, but an adequate audience. I feel there must have been a great number of women who responded with their hearts to what I had to say, in particularly my vindication of the rights of women.
With whom were your books popular?
I understand that the entire reading public, seemed hungry in England, and my books were translated into English and to into French and German, and there was an American edition. And so it seems that the population in general was eager to read revolutionary work.
An important paradox in your character. You believe so much in the education of young women, and yet you, in a sense, abandoned your own daughter.
I'm not certain when you think I abandoned my daughter. Oh, no. Oh, no, that was, actually, when I died, I left Fanny with William Godwin. But I took Fanny with me everywhere, including to Scandinavia.
Good question. We're going to answer this both in and out of character. Is there anything you think you could have or should have done to make your works have more impact, more influence?
Might have been a little more clearly written, I've been told. I was a developing writer. I learned a great deal about my writing style by working at the Analytical Review, by reviewing literature, by translating, and by taking lessons in grammar and punctuation from William Godwin, who was a much better writer because he had been formally educated. Remember, my education was totally of my own acquisition.
I know there are more questions. We're going to have to hold them, but there will be an out-of-character segment here. But I know you know we have 3 more characters tonight, so let me quickly say that Mary Wollstonecraft has been portrayed by Virginia Johnson of North Idaho College in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
Now can I take off? Thank you.
Let's quickly go right back to that question. Her books are turgid.
Yes, they are. I must admit. And when I began teaching, actually I got into this character because I teach English literature, and I've been teaching long enough to get this color of hair. The Norton Anthology of English Literature from the first edition, and now we're going into the 7th, and I think it was about the 5th when they began including women. And I determined to make them want to read a woman author, and so I dressed as Mary Wollstonecraft and went into my class and tried to persuade my students that this was really interesting and they would love it, and they were going, oh, this is boring, terrible. And you know the joy of being a Chautauqua character is that it keeps opening doors and doors and doors and doors, and exposing their own ignorance day by day. And so as I said to the woman who called me from the newspaper here, that when I began the text, I was underlining a few key passages, and now my copy is nothing but underlining and highlighting, because I have come to really love her writing, and it doesn't hurt to know a lot about her life and to read it several times.
And before we take a couple of questions, tell us a little bit about your grand adventure that's coming.
Well, Mary has taken over my life. I am going on my first sabbatical ever, and I am going second semester. And so in January of the year 2000, I am going into the footsteps of Mary Wollstonecraft. So I'll be trying to go everywhere she was around London and into Wales and to Ireland and to Paris. I just visited my nephew, who's a stringer for Newsweek. He was in the country, and he said magical words to me. He said, "I'll see you in Paris." Well, I've never been, so I'm excited. And then into Scandinavia. And my idea is that I'm going to try to write in a reaction to some of the same places. I really commend to you her short residency in Scandinavia as it was her most popular book and her most readable book. And I plan to go to those places and respond because it clearly delineated where she was and when.
Let's take a couple of questions for Professor Johnson. Let's keep you out of character, but what were her expectations for the French Revolution, and how did she respond to what he calls the blood and guts of that revolution?
You know, it's kind of interesting that she had more chutzpah than anybody I have ever read about. And she went off to the French Revolution. I think she was really naive, and she had the courage, the chutzpah again, to write a history of the French Revolution, and she really didn't know much about French history. And when she was in Paris, she was gaga in love with Imlay, and so I don't think she was as tuned in to what was really going on there. She went almost as a lark, out of curiosity, and she had read about it, read Burke, and she had these ideals that it was going to liberate the common man and woman, and then reality struck.
And how severe was her reaction to the terror?
Well, she called Robespierre a monster. She was really disgusted, and because she was on the side really sympathizing with the Girondins, when he began putting them in prison, beheading them, she got